Every knockoff starts somewhere. The real question is, are you willing to evolve into something real? The difference between a knockoff and an original is courage. Do you have enough to stand apart? Borrowed beauty fades fast. Real beauty stands the test of time. Show me what lasts in you. You're not just another face in the crowd. You're a story waiting to be told. Start writing it. Knockoffs mimic success, but they achieve greatness. Will you settle or will you rise? True strength isn't in pretending to be someone else. It's in owning every imperfect inch of who you are. A knockoff can imitate the image, but it can't recreate the soul. Where's your soul in all this? Authenticity doesn't compete, it creates. What are you creating today? It's easy to blend in, but the world is craving someone who stands out. Are you that someone? You say you're different, but actions speak louder than words. Show me what sets you apart. Knockoffs are forgotten when trends fade. Originals are remembered forever. What will you be remembered for? The truth always shines brighter than the most polished lie. Stop hiding and start shining. Being a knockoff is living in someone else's shadow. Step into the light and claim your place. A knockoff copy out of fear of failure. An original thrives by embracing it. Are you ready to fail gloriously? You don't have to be perfect to be authentic. Your flaws are part of what makes you real. Every knockoff has the chance to become an original. It starts with one question: who are you, really? Every knockoff hides a glimmer of originality. The tragedy is when it stays hidden. Will you dare to let it shine? A knockoff mirrors another's brilliance, but it never reflects its own. Show me what makes you glow from within. Pretending to be someone else may feel safe, but safety never leads to greatness. Step outside the comfort zone. You're not a knockoff because you lack talent. You're one because you're afraid to show it. Take the risk. Knockoffs live in the shadows of others, but you were made to cast your own light. Don't dim yourself any longer. It's not about how closely you can imitate someone else. It's about how boldly you can define yourself. Being a knockoff is a habit. Breaking free is a choice. Are you ready to choose yourself? The world doesn't need another version of them. It needs the first, unrepeatable version of you. Knockoffs fade as soon as the trend shifts, but authenticity remains timeless. What legacy will you leave? If you're going to be a copy, at least copy the courage it takes to create something new. Every masterpiece began as an uncertain sketch. Don't let fear of imperfection keep you from creating your own. You can't outshine the original by mimicking their glow. Light your own fire and illuminate the path ahead. The hardest part about proving someone wrong is proving to yourself that you were right all along. A knockoff lives for applause. An original thrives in silence, knowing its value doesn't depend on validation. It's not imitation that's the problem. It's forgetting who you are while doing it. Find yourself and take the stage. A knockoff tries to fit in, but an original knows it was born to stand out. What's your truth? Even the most convincing imitation falls apart under pressure. Only the real thing can endure. They say the greatest form of rebellion is being unapologetically yourself. So rebel against the knockoff narrative. Being a knockoff isn't permanent. It's just a starting point. The finish line is where you finally become you. The world doesn't need echoes. It needs new voices, bold and unfiltered. What's your unique sound? You'll never find yourself by chasing someone else's shadow. Step into the light and claim your own space. The path of a knockoff is well-worn and predictable. The path of an original is terrifying but worth every step. Knockoffs mimic the outcome, but they never understand the struggle. Prove you've lived the journey, not just the result. Even the finest imitation lacks the one thing that makes an original special: a soul. Where's yours? Being real isn't about being perfect. It's about being unafraid to show your imperfections. When you strip away the borrowed layers, what remains? That's where your power lies, if you're brave enough to embrace it. Knockoffs are forgettable because they add nothing new. Show the world what only you can contribute. If your identity is borrowed, you'll never truly own it. Return what isn't yours and build something that is. A knockoff waits for permission to be great. An original claims it without asking. Claim your greatness. Imitations look flawless but feel hollow. Authenticity may be messy, but it's alive. Choose life over illusion. To prove me wrong, you'll first need to believe in yourself. That's where the real battle begins. You walked in wearing the mask of authenticity, but every word, every move, screamed imitation. My question isn't why you copied, but who you've lost in the process. Imitations may shine for a moment, but their gloss fades under the weight of authenticity. Show me who you are beneath the surface. Cheap knockoffs are easy to find. Real value comes from standing out. So, are you the exception or just another fleeting trend? The greatest tragedy isn't being a copy. It's refusing to believe you're capable of being the original you were born to be. A knockoff may look convincing at a glance, but the cracks always show when faced with genuine substance. Every imitation begins with admiration, but if that's all you are, then where is your story? Prove you're more than a shadow. You're not a knockoff because you lack worth. You're a knockoff because you've forgotten how to own your true self. Rediscover that, and we'll talk. A counterfeit can fool the eyes, but never the soul. Show me the fire that sets you apart from the rest. True strength lies in defying expectations. Break free from the mold and prove you're more than just a reflection of someone else. A knockoff clings to trends, an original creates them. Which side of history will you stand on? The weight of imitation is heavier than you think. Shed the facade and step into your own truth. It's waiting for you. You say you're different, but every action mirrors the same empty promises. Prove me wrong by showing me the real you. Every knockoff has the potential to rise above and evolve into something genuine. Will you take that leap? It's easy to blend in, to borrow pieces of others' brilliance. But what happens when the borrowed light fades? Find your own spark. Even the finest imitation will never feel real. That's the difference between looking the part and living it. They say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, but to me, it looks like the laziest escape from self-discovery. An original takes risks. A knockoff hides behind safety. The question is, what are you willing to risk to prove me wrong? It's not about perfection. It's about authenticity. Even your flaws are more compelling than the most polished imitation. In a world full of knockoffs, the brave ones dare to create their own narrative. Is that bravery in you? Every masterpiece began with someone who dared to be different. So why settle for being a copy? Knockoffs crumble under scrutiny. True originals stand tall even in the harshest light. Which are you? You've borrowed the image, but do you carry the essence? Show me depth, and I'll believe your words. Pretending to be someone else might get you noticed, but only being yourself will make you unforgettable. Every knockoff dreams of being seen as real, but dreams only come true when you're willing to let go of the act. A mirror can reflect the image, but it can't reflect the soul. Who are you beyond the surface? Authenticity is louder than perfection. Your flaws have a voice. Let them speak. You can only wear someone else's skin for so long. Eventually, it wears thin, revealing the truth underneath. The world is craving something real. Why waste time being anything less? The greatest tragedy isn't being called a knockoff. It's living your life as one. Break free from the mold. Knockoffs only mimic what others have done. Originals inspire what others will do. Which legacy will you leave? You've built a castle on borrowed stones. But what happens when the foundation crumbles? Show me your own strength. True value doesn't need a comparison. It speaks for itself. Silence the doubts by being undeniably you. A knockoff copies out of fear. An original creates out of courage. What drives you? Behind every imitation is a truth waiting to be found. Unearth it and prove me wrong. Your voice is unique, but you've been speaking in echoes. Step into your own rhythm. A knockoff may walk the same path, but they'll never leave the same footprints. Make your mark. Being a knockoff isn't a sentence, it's a choice. Choose to be real, and the world will notice. Copies fade into the background. Originals shine even in the darkest rooms. Be the light that breaks through. Authenticity isn't just about being different, it's about being true. Show me your truth. Borrowed identities may impress for a moment, but only your true self will leave a legacy. You wear the facade well, but do you wear it for yourself or for others? Peel back the layers and reveal your core. Imitations may capture the eyes, but only authenticity captures the heart. Which will you choose? It's not about proving me wrong. It's about proving yourself right. Are you ready for that challenge? Being a knockoff is easy. Standing tall as an original is hard. But that's where the magic happens.